our Srimad Bhagavatam study session. So we were on a very interesting verse. We were discussing about how we create our own misery. So we'll continue with that discussion. Let's start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamam Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Taddhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumartoman Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam Tatra Dharanapara. Hare Krishna. So thank you, devotees. Once again, I welcome all of you for our Srimad Bhagavatam study session. So we are on chapter number 8 of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein Queen Kunti, who is the aunt of Lord Shri Krishna, is actually expressing her gratitude to Krishna. I was hearing Vraj Bihari Prabhu's class. So we're saying, gratitude has to be fresh and gratitude has to be specific. And sometimes people say, I thank you for everything. That means there is nothing that we want to thank them for. It's only lip service, right? When we thank somebody, we need to be specific what we are thanking them for, right? And that makes us have the general, the emotion of actually being grateful, the emotion of actually being thankful, right? So she was mentioning about how the gratitude has to be specific. So what you're thanking the other person for, and also it has to be fresh. It has to be. It should not be like, okay, I thank my parents for taking care of me when I was a child, right? You may not have that kind of emotions still lying fresh unless there is a reason, that you're maybe ill and you're just thinking how much your mother took care of you. That is still fresh gratitude, because you're feeling, because of the recent occurrings that are happening with you, you're realizing how your mother's presence was so soothing and comforting, whereas you're feeling alone right now. So it has to be fresh, it has to be specific, and it also has to be from the heart, right? And also he was talking about how we need to connect it to Krishna also all the time, right? Whenever we express gratitude to someone, we need to also connect it to Krishna, because then only the gratitude has its wholesomeness, right? Otherwise, if we just are thanking somebody for what they've done to us, if you're not bringing in the essential connecting factor of Krishna, then the eternality aspect is missing, because each and every person comes in our life only through the mercy of the Lord and to teach us certain lessons or to help us evolve through life, right? Everything has got the hand of Lord Sri Krishna. So in every case, while we also thank the immediate cause who are helping us or who have helped us, we also know that the remote cause, the original cause, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So yesterday we were talking about the calamity, right? So what are we talking about? We have perceived calamities, right? Yesterday talking about the Mercedes-Benz car. So when the person rushed down to see that it is not his car, but it is neighbor's car, what does he feel? He does not feel sad. Why? Because the burning of the car is not the cause for the suffering. What is the cause for the suffering? The cause for, otherwise you would have cried even if the neighbor's car got burnt, isn't it? So the cause of the suffering is not the burning of the car. The cause of the suffering is my attachment to the car. And when I feel that I am the owner of something and somebody has taken it away from me, or somebody has burned it, or somebody has destroyed it, then I feel that I have lost something that I possessed, that I owned. There the problem lies, right? Because we are thinking I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, and I am the Bhoktara Vikrannasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, and I am the owner of all these things. And when somebody is causing a damage with these things, they're causing damage indirectly to me, because I am the owner of all these things. So in that ahankar, in that false ego, lies all the root cause of all of our sufferings. Otherwise, we would be so casual. If somebody else's car is getting burned, we just walk our path. Why I don't have the time to get into all of these things, right? We just go our path. But when it is our own car, why? Because we think it is my own car. I have bought it, I have purchased it. Oh, what will I do now? Right? Because I'm identifying that particular object as mine, and whatever damage is caused to that particular object is a damage caused to me. Right? The last snare is being attached to our own body. Right? When somebody injures us or harms us or we fall down, we feel pity, or we feel the need to take revenge. Oh, that person has caused this to me. Right? And that's where the principle of Krishna consciousness comes into play, that we are supposed to anyway fall down, or we are supposed to anyway get that kind of scolding, or that kind of miserable situation from someone. Right? That person who's causing it is only a nimitta, is only an instrument. We are supposed to anyway get it. So what does a devotee see all these things as? A devotee sees all these things as opportunities to become more closer to Krishna. This is an opportunity for me to surrender more to Krishna. This is an opportunity for me to understand that I am not this body. This car is actually owned by Krishna. Krishna gave it to me. Krishna provided me with the money by which I could buy the car. Now Krishna has taken it away. Right? So what can I do in this particular circumstance to please Guru and Gauranga? If that is the attitude with which a person works, then what do you call? They say that pain is inevitable. In this world, pain is inevitable. Right? Even if we sit for 2 hours, when we get up, we get numbness in the legs, your back is paining, whatever is. So pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Right? When we understand that I am not this body, okay, fine, I have to need to take care of this body. This body is an instrument for me to reawaken my love for Krishna. Let me make the best use of the bad bargain. Let me do what is best that is possible in this particular condition. How can I take care of my body in a way that my body helps me, supports in my endeavor to reawaken my love for Krishna? Every situation can be linked to how the Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojana Gyan. Right? I am related to Krishna as the eternal part and parcel of Krishna. I am the servant of Krishna. Whatever resources are provided by Krishna to me, I am the caretaker of those resources. I need to take care of those resources. I need to utilize all those resources in service to the Supreme Lord. And ultimately, why am I doing all of this? Because I want to reawaken my love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. That's Prayojana. So this is the secret formula. How not to become miserable in so-called apparently externally miserable looking situations. Situations are looking miserable and they affect us so much because of aham mameti, I, me, mine. When that is the spectacle we are putting to see the world, then whenever it affects my I, me or mine, then I become sad. Whenever it is a positive perception for I, me, I, me and mine, I feel happy. Right? These things will go. That's why Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Painu Anityastam Siddhikshashva Bhar. The next minute something can happen which will turn your miserable situation to a positive one, or a positive situation to a miserable one. This too shall pass. So in all situations, let us surrender to the Lord. Let us see how best we can continue our process of devotional service. That is the formula to eternally be a dhira, to be a sober person in situations of difficulties and happiness. Right? These are all external. Okay, let's move ahead. Text number 26. Janmaishwarya shruta shribhir edamana madha puman naivarhati abhidatum vai tvam akinchana gocharam. Okay, Deval Mataji, please read. Synonyms.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Dhanvat Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavats Mataji, go ahead.
Synonyms: Janma, birth; Aishwarya, opulence; Shruta, education; Shribihi, by the possession of beauty; Edhamana, progressively increasing; Madaha, intoxication; Puman, the human being; Na, never; Eva, ever; Arhati, deserves; Abhi- Abhidhatum, to address in feeling; Vai, certainly; Tvam, you; Akinchana Gocharam, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth, an education, and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in the statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, and attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that the spiritually advanced person become materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Dhanvat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. So, devotees like Kunti Maharani also we saw right. Vipadam Tattu Sat Shashwat. Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru, right? Vipadam Tattu Tat Sashwat. Vipadam means something that's bad, something that's perceived as a misery, right? Tat Shashwat. I want these miseries to continue eternally. Why? Because those miseries enable me to remember you, O Lord, right? So, because here Prabhupada is making a very important point, that sometimes we think we have all the luxuries, we have all the facilities, everything is going on very well, right? In that situation, we may chant Hare Krishna, but our surrender may not be there, because we know that okay, everything is happening well and things are under my control, right? Only when we are completely surrendering to the Lord. That's why even Kunti Maharani, who's a pure devotee of the Lord, is asking for unfavorable situations to persist in life, because it is in those unfavorable situations that we surrender to the Lord completely, right? Of course, miseries do come in without asking for it, so we don't specifically go and ask for miseries, but what we can pray to the Lord is, while during situations of happiness also and during situations of distress also, which come and go according to our karmic account, whatever we have done in the past, let us surrender to the supreme personality of Godhead. Let us depend on the Lord. Let us not get swayed by these emotions of happiness and distress that will take us away from bhakti. That is what we need to pray to the Lord, right? And in all situations, whether of happiness or of distress, whatever may come into our life, oh Krishna, may I surrender to you. May I may I follow the four regulated principles. May I chant minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. May I chant more and more number of rounds. May I engage in services in a way that's pleasing to Guru and Gauranga. Right? If this is our prayer, then our life will go on. We will perform our devotional service in all situations. So we need not ask for happy situations. We need not ask for distressful situations. We simply need to ask that in all situations, oh Krishna, let me surrender to you. Oh Krishna, oh Gauranga Mahaprabhu, give me the intelligence so that in all situations, may I act in a way, may I think in a way, may I reciprocate in a way that's pleasing to Guru and Gauranga. That is what it is. right? And it's a good sign as much as we're able to surrender to the Lord, and it is a bad sign as much as we're trying to control the situation or think that a particular situation in a particular way only it is favorable, and we want the Lord to get it to us in that particular way. That the more we are controllers, the more we are having bad signs. That means what? We are not advancing. The more we are surrendered, the more we accept, okay, fine, in this situation how can I serve my best. Then that situation is a positive sign. नामो अकिंचन वित्ताय निवृत गुणवृत्तये आत्मरामाय शांताय कैवल्यापतये नमः. Okay, Srimati Shamapriya Mataji, and then Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, Subbarao Prabhu, and then our Kripamai Sita Mataji. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranam.
Synonyms, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namaha, all obeisances unto you. Kinchana Vittaya, unto the property of materially impoverished. Nivritta, completely transcended the actions of material modes. Guna, material modes. Vrittaya, affection. Atma Araya, Aramaya.
Atma Ramaya.
Atma Ramaya, one who is self-satisfied. Shantaya, the most gentle. Kaivalya Pate, unto the master of the monist. Namaha, going down. Translation. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monist. Purport. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in the real sense of the term, a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world for not for nothing, but for something tangible and spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. The Goswamis are ministers in the government service of Bengal. And Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami was the son of the big zamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a nice story about Srila Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone, and his stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked Sanatana for a most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Kinchana means the one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of Goswami. Otherwise, it would not have been kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that the material hankerings and the spiritual advancement go ill together. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. Spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha, or things not wanted. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipstick at the cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of the material consumption of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. The attempt to reach moon is another example of spoiling energy because even if the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. Devotees of the Lord are called kinchanas because they are practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil the spiritual energy, and thus, less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual growth. Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. All his acts and deeds, which are exhibited even in this material world, are spiritual and without affection for the modes of the material nature. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental. And one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. Material disease is due to the hankering after
Okay, Hare
and
Krishna
lording it
Mataji.
over.
We'll ask
Hare Krishna.
Sarvagopishri Mataji to read. Haribol, yes.
Pranam, Mataji.
It's
Thank you.
long
Thank you.
purport. Yes, Mataji, go ahead. The material disease is due to hankering.
Hare Krishna, Tatat Pranam. The
Dandavad Pranam.
material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of the three modes of nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called Nivarta Guna Vritti. The perfect Nivarta Guna Vritti is the Supreme Lord, because he never becomes attached by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees, and the devotees are the property of the Lord, reciprocally, the devotees are certainly transcended to the modes of material nature. That is natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty, or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendently attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called Atma Rama, self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is the master of all the monists who seek merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monists merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord, called the Brahma Jyoti. But the devotees enter into the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we see here, so whether or not we possess anything or not, we are not actually possessors, right? That is a very key point that is actually brought about here, right? Because whatever we possess, we are only caretakers of the particular property or the resources. So in any case, we are akinchana gochara, right? Because what has been provided by the Lord can also be taken away by the Lord at any time. Because we are not the proprietors. We understand that we are simply the caretakers of this particular property. And whenever the Lord feels the need, or the Lord feels that I'm not utilizing it properly, or I may be better engaged elsewhere, then those things might be taken away from me, right? So we know that the Lord is the best. Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is our Surada, Suradam Sarvabhutanam, Nyatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. Then we can be peaceful in this life. Otherwise, we will be hankering, will be lamenting, will be in anxiety all the time. What will happen now? Okay, what if I don't get it? What if I get it and then I lose it? Right? All of these things will continue to happen as long as we identify ourselves as the owner of the things that we are actually caretakers of. Right? So what is the best policy? The best policy is to serve the Supreme Lord, who is Atmaram. Atmarama Anantaramana. So the Lord is eternally blissful and happy. Rama means to get to the pleasurable, the source of all pleasure. Right? Atma Rama. The Lord is completely satisfied in himself. And those of us who want to be happy, even in this world, can become happy simply if we dovetail our desires in service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Prabhupada also mentions here about monists. Monist means they want to get out of the material suffering. They want to merge with the Lord. They want to merge with the Brahmajyoti of the Lord, because they think this body is a bag of suffering, right? Because there's so much of suffering in the body. They think that the Lord also must be suffering, because if he has a body, anybody has a body has to suffer. That is their limited, right? That is why the Lord is said to be Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is not like our body, which is subject to death. There is no difference between Krishna's body and Krishna's soul, right? Because Krishna is Satchit Ananda. So that is the reason these monists not having proper understanding. They think that I don't want to have a body, because body means suffering. But Krishna's body is not like ours. Janma karma cha me divyam. Evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti so Arjuna. Right? So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, my appearance and activities are transcendental simply by knowing it. one can be eternally situated in happiness, right? Because I know I'm part and parcel of the Lord, who's transcendental, who's eternal, and who's my best friend. So what is the reason for me to get into anxiety? I simply do what is best possible with the resources, with the circumstances that is available with me, and I render service to Guru and Goranga to my best possible capacity without looking for any results, or without being perturbed by the material results which seem to be either success or failure. In that situation, I can continue my devotional service, irrespective of whether I possess something or not, irrespective of whether the activity is successful or not. And that is the success of life. Right? Nothing should become an obstruction to our path of devotional service. मन्ये त्वां कालमीशानम् अनादिनिधनं विभुं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मितः कलिः. Okay, Subhara Prabhu, go ahead. And then Kripami Mataji and Anusha Mataji. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Manye, I consider Tvam, your lordship, Kalam, the eternal time, Ishanam, the supreme lord, Anadi Nidhanam, without beginning and end, Vibhum, all pervading, and Samam, equally, that is distributing, Sarvatra, everywhere, Bhutanam, of the living beings, Yat Mitha, by intercourse, Kalihi, dissension. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be the eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and the end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living things are due to social intercourse. Purport. Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as the super soul and Paramatma. And another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is Kala, or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are discerned by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at the present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion, and therefore he knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of the Lord Krishna disdains all actions and reactions, he is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are good sons of the Lord. Others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kala. The Kala offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It's all predestined by eternal time. As we
As we
can
have
I get
miseries
to where I may have happiness, and as we have miseries uncalled for, so we may have happiness also without being asked. But they are all predestined by Kala. No one is therefore either as enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the result of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living beings in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore he can see everyone's activities, and because the Lord has no beginning or end, he is known also as the eternal time Kala. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Kalosmi, right? Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham, right? So Krishna is in the form of eternal time, right? And Krishna comes as the time period grows, right? When the time comes, then Krishna comes in front of a person in the form of death. Right? But if a person is surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna actually comes in the form of eternal life in front of the person who is about to leave his body. Right? So everyone perceives Krishna according to the kind of glasses they are wearing. Right? Because we know that whatever is happening to us is a result of our, kutam, bijam, papam, falonmukham. Right? Some reactions are in the anvil, some reactions are already taken place, some reactions are in the form of seeds, they might come up at any time. So the laws of karma are very complex. It is very difficult to understand why we are suffering, what we are suffering for, and why we are undergoing certain reactions. Because it's not very clear that you are suffering because of this, and then you are enjoying because of this. It's not that clear, right? It's very complex. But yet we understand that they say the windmills of God grind slow but sure. Right? So in this way, all of our activities are being tracked and noted down. Right? And if we have been performing a karma, that means if we have been performing activities only for the pleasure of the Lord, then we will not have to, or will not be forced to enter into the womb of another mother at the end of this life. Right? But rather, Mameti so Arjuna, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, such a person who surrenders, remembers me always, and dedicates all his activities to my service, such a person will not incur any sinful reactions. Mameti so Pandava, such a person will come back to me. Oh, Arjuna, like that he is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So there are so many opportunities given by the Lord, so many techniques or tools given by the Lord by which we can go back home, back to Godhead. But we should utilize those tools. We should be in the association of devotees who would help us practice Krishna consciousness in a way that's pleasing to Guru and Gauranga, so that at the end of his life we may reawaken our Krishna consciousness and go back home, back to Godhead. Naveda kaschet bhagavam shikirshitam तवेहमानस्य नृणं विदम्बनं न यस्य कश्चित् दयितोऽस्ति कर्हि चेत् द्वेष्यस्मिन् विषमामतिर्नृणाम्. Kripamai Sita Mataji, go ahead. Synonyms, word for translation.
Hare Krishna, am I audible, Mataji?
Yes. No, does not.
No, does not. Veda, no. Kaschit, anyone. Bhagavan, O Lord. Sitam, past tense. Tava, your. Chikirsitam, past tense. Tava, your. Hiham manasya, like the worldly men. Nirnam, of the people in general. Vidambanam, misleading. Na, never. Yasya, his. Trusted anyone. Dayitha, object of specific flavor. Asti, there is. Karkichit, anywhere. Devasya, object of envy. Cha, and. Yasmin, unto him. Visama, partially. Matihi, conception. Nirnam, of the people. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Purport: the Lord's mercy upon the fallen souls is equally distributed. He has no one as the specific object of hostility. The very conception of the personality of Godhead Godhead as a human being is misleading. His pastimes appear to be exactly like a human being's, but actually they are transcendental without any tinge of material contamination. He is undoubtedly known as partial to his pure devotees, but in fact he is never partial, as much as the sun is never partial to anyone. By utilizing the sun rays, sometimes even the stones become valuable, whereas a blind man cannot see the sun, although there are enough sun rays before him. Darkness and light are two opposite conceptions, but this does not mean that the sun is partial in distributing its rays. Sun rays are open to everyone, but the capacities of the receptacles differ. Foolish people think that devotional service is flattering the Lord to get special mercy. Factually, the pure devotees who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are not a mercantile community. A mercantile house renders service to someone in exchange for values. The pure devotee does not render service to the Lord for any such exchange, and therefore the full mercy of the Lord is open for him. Suffering men, needy men, inquisitive persons, or philosophers taking temporary connections with the Lord to serve as a particular purpose. When the purpose is served, there is no more relation with the Lord. A suffering man, if he is pious at all, prays to the Lord for his recovery. But as soon as the recovery is over, in most cases, the suffering man has no longer cares to keep his any connection with the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is open for him, but he is reluctant to receive it. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a mixed devotee. Those who are completely against the service of the Lord are considered to be in abject darkness. Abject darkness. Those who ask for the Lord's favor only for the time of necessity are partial recipients of the mercy of the Lord, and those who are 100% engaged in the service of the Lord are full recipients of the mercy of the Lord. Such partiality in receiving the Lord's mercy is relative to the recipient, and it is not due to the partiality of the all-merciful Lord. And the
Hare
Lord
Krishna.
descends
Thank you,
into
Mataji. Haribol, we have
Thank
only
you,
4
Mataji.
minutes. I'll request Anusha
Thank you,
Mataji, please
Mataji.
go ahead. When the Lord descends to this material world by his merciful energy,
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. When the Lord descends to this material world by his all merciful energy, he plays like a human being, and therefore it appears that the Lord is partial to his devotees only, but that is not a fact. Despite such apparent manifestation of partiality, his mercy is equally distributed. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, all persons who died in the fight before the presence of the Lord got salvation without the necessary qualifications, because death before the presence of Lord purifies the passing soul from the effects of all sins, and therefore the dying man gets a place somewhere in the transcendental abode. Somehow or the other, if someone puts himself open in the sun rays, he is sure to get the requisite benefit both by heat and by ultraviolet rays. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Lord is never partial. It is wrong for the people in general to think of him as partial. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. Amoham sarva bhuteshu name dvesho sinapriyaha. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, right? What does he say? Namit dvesho sinapriyaha. There is nobody whom I am dvesha with. There is nobody I am envious of. Namit dvesho sinapriyaha. There is nobody who is dear to me also. Right? And then he also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Konteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. There seems to be a contradiction in the Bhagavad Gita, in the same words spoken by Lord Shri Krishna. That is why this Bhagavad Gita cannot be understood simply by Sanskrit knowledge. In one hand, Krishna is saying, Samoham Sarvabhutishu, I am equal to everyone. I don't envy anyone. I don't like anybody. I don't have any special preference. Right? And then he again says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees, I specially take care of them so that they are never vanquished. Why is there a dichotomy? Because our understanding is not perfect. When we seek to understand from bona fide Guru, we understand that Krishna is a person. Krishna is Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Right? Krishna is also a person like you and me. Right? If somebody is very favorably inclined to us, very favorably listening to all of our instructions, following all of our instructions, helping us at all times, we'll be favorably inclined to that person. Right? Especially Prabhupada gives example. If a person has 2-3 children, one child not only takes care of herself but also takes care of the siblings, then the mother is favorably inclined in giving the responsibility to this daughter, who may be elder or whatever reason is more responsible, and then the mother is favorably inclined to this daughter. Does not mean that she is pampering her. She is giving her more responsibilities so that she gets more opportunity to serve. So, when we are mature in our devotional service, we can test ourselves, because we will get more opportunities to serve Guru and Gauranga. In that way, we can check whether we are advancing in devotional service or are we becoming a burden to our Gurus. Shri Harinam Prabhu ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, it's about a minute more left. We'll do Harinam Sankirtan. The session may end. Tomorrow we'll continue with Srimad Bhagavatam on Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday we'll do Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we'll meet at 11 o'clock, like always. Yeah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti